What's up guys, Cliff here once again and welcome back to Overwatch. In this video I'd like to discuss whether or not the lever penalty is too harsh. But before we get into the discussion itself, let me read out how the system works first. Lever penalty. If a player's game completion percentage falls below our required threshold, they will now receive a warning message. This percentage is calculated based on their 20 most recent games. If that player continues to leave games after receiving this warning, they will incur a 75% XP penalty for future games. This penalty will be removed once the player raises their game completion percentage above our required threshold. Again, this percentage is calculated based on their 20 most recent games. So first off, I am not inherently against the idea of putting penalties on players that leave matches early. Quite the opposite actually. Leaving a match early is an incredibly douchey thing because not only do you leave your team in an unfavorable position, you are also putting another person into the discomfort of joining an ongoing match rather than a new lobby. However, the problem that I have with this penalty at the current stage of the game is that the matchmaking system is completely broken. The game has been out for only about 3 weeks, and it is obvious that matchmaking needs a bit more time to put players in the appropriate brackets for their skill levels, but as it stands, lower MMR matchups are usually a giant stomp or B-stomp. Obviously, we have players that reach anywhere from level 100 to 600 in the beta, but are now playing the full release at level 1, with the matchmaking system matching new players by levels rather than skill. That can certainly be part of the problem. I'd say that it starts to get better, and that is only my subjective experience, starting from level 30. That's where I'd say you get out of Overwatch's equivalent of bronze hell and start getting more matchups with teammates that are actually caring about doing the right thing and occasionally try to win. And moving further, it seems to get better. Being level 50 plus now, I find myself in a significantly more balanced environment than earlier below 30. But that could again just be pure luck of the draw, because I do still have those games unreasonably often where it doesn't come down to my team being a bunch of douchebags just dicking around and not caring to create a decent comp. We're just plain outskilled. The other team runs over us like a truck, not giving the slightest fuck about any sort of resistance. And let me put my opinion out there. Losing in Overwatch is one of the most frustrating experiences I ever had in any game. And that's because the rock, paper, scissors nature of the game, along with some systems and mechanics that I just don't agree with. When I play against somebody who's just plain out better than me, then I can accept that. I know that I'm not a fantastic player by any stretch of the imagination, so that usually doesn't leave me too frustrated for too long. But most of the time that is not the reason why I lose, because the entire game is not dependent solely on me, it's dependent on things outside of my control, and that's frustrating. Because even if I was a fantastic player, I still can't compensate for a bad team. So when I lose a game solemnly because the 3 Widowmakers in my team refuse to switch to something useful, I get frustrated. When I get killed because my head hitbox extends over another full size of my head, I get angry. When I get corner killed because the servers are running on freaking 20 tick, I get fucking furious. And when I am already on a streak of losses and then the game puts me into the same King of the Hill map 6 times in a row, I just want to throw my monitor out the window. So if I'm in a matchup with these 3 legendary Hanzos that don't want to switch, playing against a full team of projectile-based characters that headshot me behind corners in a game mode that I fucking despise, with team balancing that reminds me of a pack of wolves attacking a lonely deer, I'll quit the match. It is not worth the frustration for me. And let me tell you something. The reason I got my last penalty was because I requeued a legitimate 12 times, with the game putting me in either of the King of the Hill maps every single time. I've quit the match before even engaging into the battle because I didn't want to put up with it, and seemingly a lot of other people didn't either because there are a lot of empty spots in King of the Hill lobbies. And since I was so furiously leaving lobbies over and over again, I obviously didn't see any warning messages. And I might just be retarded, but I didn't see a button that allows me to choose which game modes or maps I would like to participate in, and literally everyone I talk to fucking hates King of the Hill for how big of a clusterfuck it is. So I know that Blizzard wanted to make a game that is fun, and it is. I love Overwatch, and that's obviously why I'm playing it, but there are a lot of mechanics and systems in place that are just extremely frustrating to deal with, broken as fuck low MMR matchmaking being one of them. So at this point it feels like we're being punished for not wanting to put up with Blizzard's broken systems, and that just doesn't feel right. And I hate saying that because I feel like the principle of how the penalty is applied and lifted off is actually extremely fair. Alright guys, that's me done with my rant for today, but the question is, what do you think about this whole situation? Do you feel like a 75% XP penalty is justified? Do you think it works just fine, the current system that's in place, and that I'm just a complete moron for even complaining about it? Leave it down in the comments below, and thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time.